One of the things that people wrote in, a lot of people had questions about the banks, about what's happening with the banks, what you've changed with some of your investments over time. Jason Goldberg writes in, he says, please ask Warren about his views on the bank stocks in general and on Wells Fargo in particular. Over the last 2 quarters, he sold almost a quarter of his longstanding Wells Fargo stake. Also in the fourth quarter, he dumped a third of his Goldman Sachs shares, although he still owns over $75 billion in bank equities. So what do you think about banks? Not necessarily the sell-off today because you don't look at day by day.
Well, banking is a good business if you don't do dumb things on the asset side. I mean, basically. And it's a business that the banks we own earn between, the commercial banks earn between 12% and 16% or so on net tangible assets. That's a good business. It's a fantastic business against the long-term bond, at 2%. If you have a choice between a 2% instrument and a 12% instrument, which one's going to win over time? So if you ask me whether I think banks are going to go down where they only earn 3 or 4% on tangible assets, I don't think that'll happen. The question is really whether they do something massively dumb. I mean, which periodically a number of banks have done, and I feel very good about the banks we own. They're very attractive compared to most other securities I see, and most of them are buying. Bank of America is buying in a lot of stock every year. So our ownership of the Bank of America this year probably will go up 7 or 8% without us spending a dime. I'd like to own any business, any good business where my ownership just goes up 7 or 8% every year without me spending any money, and on top of it, I get a dividend and so on. They're very attractive, both against interest rates and against or against bonds and against other stocks, in my view.